Hey guys, welcome to our new project reveal, Cottage Charm. I'm Jessica Geller.
And I'm Virginia Toledo. We are Toledo Geller Interiors. Come on in. We're standing in our client's turn-of-the-century Cotswold inspired cottage in Westchester, New York. This home has all of the charm that a real English cottage has, but with all of the modern amenities. It still has a lot of the original detailing, like the beams on the ceiling, the thicker walls, arched doorways and doors. And so there's just so much inspiration here for us to work from.
Our client originally told us that she loves our use of color and pattern. She really wanted wallpaper here in this home. She really wanted it to be joyful. That was a word that was used on repeat for this project. Joyful, sparking happiness everywhere we went in this home. And so the way that we layered it all in was going to be really important. But as you can see, not a lick of wallpaper in this room. It's all about that balance. We felt like the room historically wouldn't have had a bright and bold pattern on it. So we really wanted to feel like it was architecturally appropriate. We talk about that all the time. And we wanted the beams to not fight with that. So this room is sort of our like common ground, breathing space.
And it's the first room we enter. This is what you first experience. It's almost like a palette cleanse before all of the other rooms sort of unfold.
Exactly. And so you'll see some of this pattern and color here will repeat itself throughout the home. But this is our first little taste of it, and it's really cool to see how it will develop from room to room and what you see in the same line of sight.
We decided to use a lime washed wall treatment on the walls, and we know a lot of people are using them these days, and it almost is starting to feel a little trendy, but it was far from that in this space, which feels really architecturally appropriate. We use a creamy color from a company named Portola. It just gives the room a lot more depth. The sconce lighting bounces off of it, and it's far different from having used just an eggshell or matte finish paint in this room.
We knew that we needed some perfect art, so we actually went shopping with our client and found these pieces, which are really awesome, modern framed plexi with these cool rivets. We said we wanted one with purple, and the guy was like, this is the most purple we have. And then we're like, go back there. We think you have more. And he was like, okay. And he'd take another one out. And we were
He's like this little guy too. Yeah.
We were like, there's more.
He became super annoyed with us by the end of it. But
we got the pieces that we wanted. So that was a victory.
We played with a bunch of arrangements too to figure out which trio gelled the best. Yeah. The fireplace did exist originally, but it was completely aesthetically outdated. We came in, gave it a fresh coat of paint to color match the lime wash wall treatment, and we also installed some new surrounding glossy tile that has almost a handmade quality to it while still being a machine cut tile. We landed on this sort of honey tone that is installed in just the best way.
Which is so perfect for her with the sunshine adjectives that she uses.
That's right.
Coming in from the foyer, we couldn't put a sectional here. That would be sacrilegious.
Yeah.
All of this seating that we have here, it's like exactly what this room needs. Speaking of seating, this detail, when this came, it made our hearts sing.
Yeah.
I love how it frames this piece, and it's just such a soft little pillow.
Yeah. Jessica laughs at me sometimes because when I do sketches at the office and I draw a sofa in, I always draw it as like a squiggly line instead of a straight line. All of my sofas look squiggly, and it's because this is what I envision every sofa to look like.
Dreaming of this sofa.
There should be no straight lines at the back of a sofa. I mean, how much nicer is this? Why would you want a straight line when you could have this?
It's like cute as a button.
It is, right, not literally.
The first thing that they told us was life is not too precious, and that they love using their Wedgwood with their kids on an everyday basis. And that was like all the inspiration that we needed.
We've been waiting for a client to tell us that for a long time. Most of our clients have their fine china tucked away. They don't use it. I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
And she was the complete opposite.
Yeah. She showed us her china, which is this beautiful pattern with the butterflies and these bright colors. It's not the typical plain white with like a gold rim.
Yeah, a little more whimsical.
So pretty. And so we use that as really a jumping off point for all of the color in the home.
That's right. I remember us taking all of the pictures of
The close-ups,
and then we printed them in full scales.
It was part of our presentation board.
In our scheming process to really make sure that the colors all jived well.
The dining room had to be able to be used every day for their family. It wasn't just a dining room that gets used for formal occasions.
That's
and so the round table really worked well for them, creates a really nice casual sitting arrangement. It doesn't feel super formal. It obviously also has the ability to extend for when entertaining for a larger party.
While it's a formal dining room, it just has this level of casualness. And I don't know how we made all of this work in terms of the color palette, because you saw what we had in the other room, which was a sea of neutrals and cool toned blues with just a touch of marigold. And obviously, we're in something completely different in this room.
Our jumping off point here was the wallpaper that we have on the walls. It's just magical.
Yeah. This paradise wallpaper with the tropical birds and these vibrant colors is certainly a happy wow in this space.
And there's the rough texture of the brick on the wall. We did a pattern of stripes on the ceiling. It's subtle, but it's there. All of those things are what really bring it together.
Yep.
This custom piece that we had made
was a labor of love.
Yes.
We really finessed these details we were tired of talking about this cabinet, but we really wanted the proportions to be just right, you know, down to how wide is this recess? What does this molding look like? Is it curvy? Is it linear? Obviously, while still being very practical for all of the beautiful things that we wanted her to display. And so we wanted to do something that felt really integral with the wallpaper, and eventually developed this. And we were saying that it's so joyful that we could equally see it in like an ice cream shop.
It's like the perfect, like either pistachio flavor or like the mint chocolate chip. Like it's so perfect.
Mint chocolate chip.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And so if you have an ice cream shop that you want us to design, we are clearly ready for that. Now we're in the sunroom. This room is located right off of the formal living room and was definitely a pain point for our clients.
Yes, they said they never came in here.
Yep.
It might as well have not existed.
They believe it was an extension to the house that was previously open when the house was built at the turn of the century and was later closed in. And so the proportions of this room are so different from everything else in the house.
We decided this would be a great place for kid homework, kid activities. So we did the built-in desks over here and filled the rest of the spot with this awesome custom fit mini little sectional sofa, which the fact that it's custom fit to this space and ties in with the desk is what makes it feel like a cozy little nook.
Yeah, we often say that these rooms, when they're squat and not very large, you're better off outfitting it like a boat, like a ship. Think about everything built in and around the walls for really tidy custom fit, and it will render better results for you. It just becomes a really cozy nook in the house.
So cozy.
That apparently they now use
all
a
the
lot.
time. Yeah.
So success.
Mission accomplished.
This room also has direct access to their yard. And it has a pair of beautiful French doors with leaded mullions that are so different and unique. When we got to the job, the doors that lead to the outside came into the room. They swung inside the room, and we said it's a small room. And quite frankly, now interrupted a chair at our custom desk. And we were able to just reorientate those things. Second was the flooring. Because it was this indoor-outdoor quality, instead of bringing the wooden flooring from the formal living room, we went with stone.
Right. And then the color palette here is really soft, so the flooring and the walls are sort of in the same palette. Ceiling carries that same color, and we're really playing off of a lot of the colors that we see in the adjacent living room, but making them a little bit more bolder and saturated in here.
A little more fun for the kids.
If you followed us at all, you know that we try to be green when we can, and we were given a kitchen that had been newly renovated, brand new white cabinets, countertops, the whole shebang. And once again, felt sacrilegious to just rip it all out. So we wanted to infuse a little bit of the same style that we have going on throughout the rest of the house here. And we just did one small change that had a huge impact.
Right. We chose a hand-painted terracotta tile for the backsplash here and took out what was a perfectly fine backsplash before, but again, in trying to be as green as possible, we thought that was the best approach. It brought in a lot of the colors that we had in other places in the house, and our clients were courageous enough to do this. I don't think we've had any other client that would have been okay with this pattern on their backsplash. It's so charming.
It is.
Oftentimes what we prefer to do is take the tile we've chosen and take it from the countertop all the way to the ceiling. The previous tile stopped at the normal 18 inches, which is very common, but in this kitchen felt like it was creating a horizontal line at a really weird break point, where now that it goes from top to bottom, it envelops all 3 walls and you can really celebrate the nice big windows that we have here.
Another really easy switch we made was the pendant lighting. Before, the pendant lighting was very expected of a kitchen, white kitchen, utilitarian kind of light fixture, but this really embraces the charm with the wicker, and it really has that little tiny bit of quirk that this space really just needed to be pulled together.
This room makes me so happy.
I love this room.
Yeah. We're in the client's family room. We talked about them wanting a sectional in the formal living room, and we told them just pump the brakes. We'll give you an awesome sectional in due time. And this was our solution for their family room.
It's custom built for this length of wall. We had a few different furniture layouts for this room. Some
This
were
was a challenge.
Some were a little bit more of a traditional layout with a pair of chairs or what have you. But this one, we said, we're just gonna go balls to the wall and say, let's just do the whole darn thing in a big section.
100%, but it was almost like the only way we could do it because of the limited placement for a television in this room. And that's the purpose of coming into this room, besides just, hanging out maybe with a book. But truth be told, we're television watching people.
With this layout, we were then left with very little lighting in the room because there's nowhere to put a table lamp. So we wired for all of these sconces that were just punctuated at the exact right spot here.
We had to warm it up with texture and brought in the wooden wallpaper that has become, I feel like, a little bit of a Toledo Geller
100%
signature trick. Don't go copying us though, because if I see it, I'm gonna call you out on it because you heard it here. So, but when they see it at the meeting, they're like, wait, wooden wallpaper? Though these clients weren't that way. If we couldn't have asked for more trusting clients, they really just ran with it and said, well, we'll just trust you.
Totally. Like when we said we're gonna put an orange wool on top of a pink wool, and
like, why not?
Let's go for it.
That's right. And it's sophisticated, I think, because of the type of material it is. But the palette is certainly unexpected and just joyful. That's the key word in this whole house. Also behind us is this beautiful piece of art. I will admit, Jessica is the art department in our studio. If you call and say I need art, I say I'll pass you through
to my extension.
We don't have any extension. But I really appreciate her ability to find the perfect pieces for our client.
Thank you.
And this piece couldn't have been more perfect. Square and round at the same time, which was really cool.
But it's super meaningful to our client also. We've mentioned her love of florals and botanicals, and these little butterflies are actually clippings from botanical books. She loved it at first sight, but then when she heard the backstory, she was like, oh, that's it. That's it. That was the one.
That's right.
This room is truly magical.
Yeah.
The glow that we feel in here is insane. I don't know that I ever thought that we would do a clay colored space, but not only did we do it, but we did it
the whole
head
thing.
to toe.
Yeah. At first, we didn't think we were going to do that, and we were going to stop at the ceiling line. But as you can see, the ceiling here has a curvature to it on all sides. There's not like one straight wall ceiling meetup here, which was really fun to measure.
We wanted the adults to have a space to go away from the children. So it actually started when both adults were working from home. Now nobody works from home, but that was how the idea formed. So everybody was going going to be able to have a space to do whatever they need to do. Children in the other side of the house, and then this room was a little bit multi-purpose.
Yes.
Our client's husband loves playing games with his 3 daughters, and so having a game table was priority number 1 for him.
That's right.
And so this became a really nice spot for that to happen, and she loved the idea of having a spot to read in while they're doing the gaming together. So the whole family can be in this cozy room together at once, doing many different things here.
We had some different ideas about where we would position the built-in cabinetry that you see behind us. At one point, we thought of it being on the opposite wall with some closed storage because, as you mentioned, when we first started this conversation, they were working from home and they needed a lot of computer screens, and we wanted a way to conceal it. But that changed, and so our plans changed, and the built-ins moved to the window wall that would allow them to sit in front of this beautiful window and look out to the neighborhood as they are working from home. What we did differently here is that we upholstered the doors and drawer fronts on this cabinetry. It just feels so finely tailored.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of this. In the primary bedroom of this cottage, we feel like we nailed the feeling one would get in the best boutique inn in Northern England. It's not by any modern day standards, the size and the storage of a primary bedroom. I know we're all used to these huge rooms with double vaulted ceilings.
Rooms that are large enough for a whole seating area.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
We don't have any of that here.
Walk-in dressing rooms, but this room feels equally as special to us. It has so much warmth and charm. There is a fireplace in this room that is also original, but was not in working order when our clients took ownership. And we wanted to solve that because we thought it would just only add to the allure of this room.
So we installed a ventless, gasless fireplace here. We also had a lot of fun with the wallpaper here. We went back and forth with will it be texture, will it be color, will it be pattern? As you can see, pattern 1, but it's also diffused by all of this cabinetry and punctuated by the many, many doors that there are in this room, which is painted in one of our favorite shades. We use it quite often. You might recognize it from our portfolio. It's Feather Down, and it sometimes looks white, but really is a very off white.
Right, it's almost like a beautiful shade of cream and oatmeal that's kind of blended. The cabinetry behind us existed when our clients bought the house, but we updated hardware on it and gave it the cutest tufted striped banquette bench just to make it a little bit more purposeful, where they can perch and get ready for work in the morning and that kind of thing. The other big trick here was the area rug. You know by now, if you follow along with us on our projects, that we love to use a broad loom rug cut around the undulations in the room to visually expand the space. And we use that again here in a fun pattern that, while is subdued, creates a lot of movement in the room as well.
Right, if we had done just a standard size area rug here, we would have really been cutting off a huge portion of this width of the space, and it's a visual thing. It makes the whole room feel much narrower than it really is. One of the things that our client told us that she loved about our work is all of our pattern play and layering the wallpaper. And upstairs we decided that this is where we could really have fun with layering one on top of another. So in this room, we wanted to make sure that the flow from here to the hallway would work. The hallway paper is really fluid and has a really nice soft flow to it. And while this is a floral and still really soft, it's more geometric. And so the placement of one in front of the other creates a really nice synergy.
And what's interesting is that they both are static patterns, and I think that helped the layering as well, as opposed to one having a lot of movement and the other one being really static. The scale and them being both static really helped them layer well. This concludes the tour of our Cottage Charm project. Follow us along on all social media channels at Toledo Geller. Cheers!
Hey guys, welcome to our new project, Cottage Charm. I'm Jessica Geller. Oh, too many projects.